Welcome to Layer the Alchemist, where we discuss all things heavy metal and hard rock. On today's episode, let's discuss ZZ Top's 1973 album, Tres Hombres. I've made a video of my favorite guitar tones, and Billy Gibbons is right up there at the top. I love his tone. Look at the inside of that record there. I mean, that sort of sums up the vibe of ZZ Top right there, and in a picture, your beer and some burritos or enchiladas or whatever's going on there, you know. Love Billy Gibbons' tone. Love the feel of this band. Frank Beard on drums, Dusty Hill on bass. You know, they groove really hard in a real laid-back style, much like, you know, maybe AC/DC or the Rolling Stones. But Billy Gibbons just has his great ways. He's 100% blues influenced, but he has a real creative way of sort of moving, doing unique things with it. I am not a big fan of straight up blues type playing. I like blues influenced playing, like this or Jimi Hendrix and stuff like that, where they take the blues and they do some unique, different things with that. And for me, that's what Billy Gibbons and ZZ Top is all about. And this album, just great. The production on it is really great. It's done by Bill Ham, produced it. It's really warm. For me, kind of a classic 70s production. Maybe the drums are a little boxy sounding, but it doesn't matter. It's a simple, stripped down, kind of warm recording. ZZ Top would get some heat for, I don't know when this was, like in the 90s, the late 90s, I think, when they remastered and reissued a whole bunch of this stuff from this era where they replaced the drums somehow or made them electronic, triggered the drums, and it just sort of took away from the feel. You know, if you're only familiar with ZZ Top from She's Got Legs and, you know, Sharp Dressed Man in the 80s, ZZ Top in the 70s to me was a much different, way, way better band because it was so much more organic and natural. And again, that fluid, laid back, greasy groove that ZZ Top had in the 70s. They just lost that when they started using drum machines and the more electronic sounds of the 80s. And I feel bad when people only know them or avoid them because all they know is the 70s Sharp Dressed Man and the MTV stuff. I always tell people, man, go back to the 70s. Tres Hombres, probably my favorite. Tejas is right up there with this one. I mean, Fandango, all the 70s stuff. ZZ Top's first album, Rio Grande Mud. I mean, it's just great, great stuff. And it's a shame that, you know, and I mean, who can argue? They became hugely successful in the 80s. So what do I know? But I love them, and I totally dig their whole vibe and groove and everything about them, what they were doing in the 70s, especially on this album. Waiting for the Bus. This is a great example of this. It almost has like a funky feel to it. Waiting on the bus all day. It grooves, man, but it grooves in a real laid-back style. And that change between Waiting for the Bus to Jesus Just Left Chicago is so cool. I know I made a video way back of like songs that segue into each other, and I mentioned this one. This is one of the greatest, like, bomb, and then it goes into that, like, you know, blues laid-back thing, and Billy Gibbons, you know, or the vocals on this, you know, oh, help me, Jesus, you know, and the guitar and everything is just so, and his lines on this, man, it is like, you know, musicians talk about being on the beat, being in the center of the beat, being on the back of the beat, and that means like when a song is really like driving and pushing ahead. Well, this is like laid back in your seat, man. It just these guitar, slinky guitar lines coming in and out. Fantastic. Love it. Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers, the groove in this, it's great, man. You know, it's so tight, the way the drums are in it, locked in there, and again, it's a really simple mix, but it isn't like there's a million things going on in the mix or something. It's a streamlined mix, but they're just so tight. Dusty Hill has an amazing bass sound. He's a simple bass player, but he's got this warm, tubey, slightly distorted bass sound that it just all melts in together with the guitar. Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers. It's just awesome. I love the chorus in the song. Master of Sparks. This is another one that I love. The groove in this, when the riff drops down, and that main riff is just killer, man. A killer, love it. Hot, Blue, and Righteous, a really nice, kind of laid back blues ballad, if you will. Move Me On Down the Line, that's a cool one, opens up the second side. Precious and Grace, that's a nice one, a cool feel to it also. And then Lagrange, all right, this is, okay, I don't think I ever need to hear Lagrange again. This song for me, I've just heard it way too many times. It's a cool song. It's got a cool groove. I love the way his voice is in the beginning. The way he does that with his voice and everything is really cool. But man, when I was first learning to play, it seemed like every band, this was like a song that every garage band, every classic rock cover band, even to this day, you know, plays Lagrange. And unfortunately, I'm completely burnt out on it. But back in the day, you gotta admit, it's a cool song. It's catchy. I love those like drum fills, the way those come in. It's a catchy song. It's a fun song. All right, next we've got Sheik. That's a cool one. And Have You Heard? The album goes out on kind of a mellow, little bit of a laid back kind of mellow vibe. All right, ZZ Top, Tres Hombres. Let me know what you guys think. Love this record. Love 70s ZZ Top. Love Billy Gibbons. For me, it all kind of comes together on this record. This was only their, I believe it's their third studio album, I think. Let me double check that. It is the third album from them. And I was surprised at how early in the 70s this was. I often forget. I kind of think of ZZ Top as more like a late 70s band. But they were, you know, doing their thing right at the beginning of the 70s, which is really cool. So this is a great album, my favorite from them. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Till we see you again, make sure you rock hard, ride free.